welcome back everyone. In this video, I've got some new parts for the trusty mountain board. I put a new headlight on it. I've been getting caught out in the dark way too often, so I've put that on there, and that runs off the main board's battery. So that plugs into the main battery, so I don't have to worry about charging anything. I don't have to worry about battery bank or anything like that. If I get caught out, I just plug it in, away I go. Alright, first up, I've got a new waterproof case, slightly bigger. And that's to house this. I bought this off a bloke on the Facebook Australia page. He says he hasn't used it. It looks like it's all there. I can tell it's been open, like normally these have got plastic on them. I can tell it's been open, but hard to tell if it's been used, so hopefully that's all good. I'll give the Focbox Unity a go. Still got bits and pieces in there. And here I've ordered a brand new set of motors. I've ordered these from Maytech. So I got the sealed censored motors. So these should help keep the dirt and dust and that out of the motor. I've got caught off-road on my mountain board with my other motors where dirt has actually got in between the magnets from the iron in the dirt. It's actually magnetic to the motor. So these should help keep all that out. I'm quite surprised after all this off-road riding, I've done heaps of Ks, that they're really not that dirty in here. They've got a bit of grime on the grease, but you can tell no water, no mud, or anything like that is getting in the gears, which is really good. Anyway, I'll give them a clean up. I'll do the other side. I've got to pull these helical motor gears off, and I'll have to set the other motors up because they're helical. You've got to run no circlip, stack with washers. Have a look at my first video on fitting the E-toxx gears. It's got all that info in it. That's been running really good, all that stuff. So I'm gonna put it on here, and that's gonna run chain and sprockets. So I'll give chain and sprockets a go. I've got road tires on it. It's more gonna be that street board, all-terrain type setup with the higher top speed. I might run some smaller batteries on it, and yeah, give chain and sprockets a go. With this gear drive setup, you've got to make sure that the backlash is set correctly. You've got to make sure that the motor gear is lined up with the wheel gear and that you've set the correct backlash. So backlash is like setting belt tension, but gearbox version. that's all I'm going to get done for the Savo. I've got to go out for dinner, but I made some good ground. Sealed motors are on. I'm just cutting lengths now. Enclosure, ESC enclosure is mounted. I've got the Focbox sitting in there. Really, all I need to do is solder the connections onto the right length of the wire. I'm going to try and get that braided cover back over them, and then run a power lead back into the battery enclosure, and then that's done. Alright, it's a new day. Now, first job is I'm going to drill a hole for the power button. I'm going to start wiring up the motor phase wires, and yeah, get the wiring tidy. Then the last job is run the power lead to the battery, and then it's all set up and config on the computer. So. This side's been soldered, I've connected it, heat shrinked, and got the braid over it, so it's all done. Next I'll rip into this side, and then it will be onto battery lead and setup. The reason I went with a clear box this time was so when you're riding through water, rain, you can check and make sure you're keeping the water out of your electronics. If you can keep water off this, you're pretty much going to be right, especially when running LiPo batteries, and you don't have to worry about a BMS. When using this braided wire, when you cut it, just heat it up a little bit first and melt them ends so they stay stuck together. Give it a tap on the bench, because as you feed the wire through, it all just wants to come apart. So that seems to help a lot. Alright, so everything's ready to be plugged in. This is the scary part. I'm going to unplug the Esk. I'm going to plug the battery in. I'm going to double check the polarity at the Esk plug. Yeah, so that's correct. If you get that mixed up along the line, you're going to blow that straight away. You're going to have sparks. The Esk is plugged in. Alright, plug the battery in. That's a good start. Alright, I've got lights flashing. I've got lights on, that's a good start. I'm gonna have to pull a receiver and a remote out of another board that I'm gonna use. Alright, so it was a bit... You know that's going in the video. Yeah. It was a little bit tricky updating the firmware. It just didn't want to do it to begin with, but the new Esk firmware can run on the Unities. So that's all set up. Let's take it for a spin. Feels different?
Yeah, smoother.
Yeah, definitely smoother. Got that smooth takeoff using the sensors. Best stickers you'll find anywhere. Quite powerful. That feels awesome. It's so good having censored motors set up. On my last motors, I destroyed the sensors from dirt and stuff getting in there, and it absolutely ruined them. I replaced one of them and it worked for a while, but I just kept killing them. So now with the sealed motors, I'll be able to keep censored going.